Perfectionism is a killer of dreams and lifelong goals, a killer of the possibility to live a happy and fulfilled life, and most of all, a killer of your mental peace. And this applies even to the smallest things, like that one selfie you have retaken countless times just to get the right angle. Because let's face it, nothing says self-love like spending 30 minutes trying to look effortlessly candid, does it? You know, that little voice inside your head that constantly says, you can do better. Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. And I'm here to tell you why I find this happens and how it affects us, and some tips on how to stop seeking that unattainable standard of perfection that makes you look like you have a weird obsession with neatly arranged sock drawers. What is wrong with you? So why are you a perfectionist? Well, let me tell you, it's not because you woke up one day thinking, I want to make my life as stressful as possible, thank you very much. Mind you, I'm still working on this myself, but I have been implementing a series of habits and mindset changes, which we will get to later on, that I find really worked for me. And me making this very same video right now is a proof of it. I had been procrastinating on making my own YouTube channel for years. And when I say years, I do mean years now. Every time I would think about it again, I would tell myself, okay, this is the moment. This is the time, I'm doing it this time, for real. And it would never happen because I would always find reasons why it was not the best time, even if those reasons were bullshit. I need better equipment, what will people think? What if I end up being a failure? Is my English good enough? It was always a question. So what? So basically, English is not my first language. I speak Spanish, Romanian, English, and I'd like to say German as well. I'm not very confident, but I'm doing my best. And again, that's something else where perfectionism comes at play as well. When it comes to languages, in my case, I didn't have that so much with English for some reason, but I do with German. I live in Germany, for context. So I have to speak German very often. I'm just too afraid to speak. I can read everything, I can understand everything, I can write. When it comes to the speaking part though, that's when it gets tricky. I just choose not to normally because it scares the shit out of me when I make mistakes. And that is not the way to go when you want to learn a language, right? And it's a shame. I mean, I live here. People here are really nice. They're not gonna be judging you. Maybe there's like a 1%, 2% of the population who will, but that happens everywhere. It's not about German people specifically. It's just, you know, a general thing. But I don't feel like that's stopping me from the fear of not saying things perfectly as they are in my head when they come out my mouth. You know, it's scary. It's terrifying. So I don't know why. But again, I'm working on it. I'm working really hard. So it's again the perfectionist in me telling me you cannot do this. So another case of perfectionism that, damn it, I wish I could stop. Now back to the main topic. This was also the case for some of my other personal projects because I am essentially too afraid to fail. Some of the reasons why this happens are external validation, fear of making mistakes and failing, and insecurity, essentially. I say essentially a lot. The success or the failure of our actions is how we measure the way we perceive ourselves and how we think others will perceive us. Perfectionist people cannot tolerate the consequences of an imperfect result, so the insistence to try to control it is basically a shield to protect ourselves. Listen, perfectionists are not better than anybody else. The only reasons why their results are usually on a higher level is because all the effort that they put in, and to do so, they beat themselves up for it. They do. And if you know me, that's exactly what I do. There is always something else you can do to improve whatever you're doing, so it simply feels like it's never good enough. It all sums up to being highly critical of oneself and linking your performance and accomplishments directly with your worth and your value. Perfectionist people just have these incredibly high standards for themselves. They think they have to do everything and they have to do it perfectly, or else what? The universe will implode? Aliens will invade? I mean, come on, that's already happening, so. The perfectionist trap. You strive for perfection and what do you get? Anxiety, stress, a secret stash of half-finished projects hidden under your bed. Half-finished and fast. That's gonna be a hard pass for me. On top of that, we get a bonus of procrastination and paralysis. Listen, I put the pro in procrastination, okay? It is really hard to get started because you're always waiting for the right moment to get the best outcome, and just know that moment will never come. The things we do usually is thanks to other pressing factors such as deadlines or work, if you want to keep your job, that is. And so we tend to avoid a task altogether, but do not be fooled by this. We don't go off and happily do other things and get about our business of not doing the important things. We suffer. We suffer greatly thinking about the things that we should or would want to be doing and beating ourselves up for not doing them. But does that make us get up and go actually do them? No, sir. Absolutely, it does not. Let me tell you that. We like pain, apparently. Our thoughts become literally our worst enemy. The more we think about this thing that you want to do, right? Or you have to do, whatever it is, the more you put it off, the more scary and bigger and challenging it's gonna get when you actually get to it. Honestly, it's crazy. It makes you rather not be happy and live a fulfilled life, whatever that means for you, just because you may not do it perfectly, which again, it's impossible. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, then we expect that not to be a problem. Make it make sense. It is essentially the perfectionism paradox. The more we chase perfection, the more we actually underperform. Just get started. Even if it is for 5 minutes and for the stupidest task ever. Just saying that you want to do something is not gonna get you any closer to actually doing it. Trust me, I would know. Progress, even if it is the tiniest bit, it will give you drive and momentum. If you say you want to write a book, but never sit down and actually write words, it's simply never going to happen. If you sat down every day and chose to write, I don't know, 20 words, that's all. You don't need any more. 20 words. You certainly can do that, right? 20 words is like a paragraph. Not even. 20 words is a tiny paragraph. That's all it is. You would have 600 words by the month. That's decent. It's better than nothing. It's certainly more than you would get just by saying you want to write a book. And I guarantee you, some days you're going to write more than that. Even if you told yourself just 20 words, momentum is gonna get you there. And you're gonna write way more than that. Even if it is 50 instead. Break it down into smaller tasks. Break that huge scary goal into smaller bite-sized bits. This will allow you to make your success measurable and adjusted to realistic standards. Make lists. Write down even the most ridiculous tasks, like taking your trash out. Even if it stinks and it's obvious that you have to do it. Please take your trash out, that is nasty. Check that box off. It will give you a sense of achievement and satisfaction, and therefore, it will add to that momentum. Give yourself a deadline. This is pretty self-explanatory, but so important. However, this will give you the right kind of pressure and drive and pressure. Why did I say it like that? Why did I say it like that? This will give you the right kind of pressure to get things done, even if it isn't perfect, and it will be. Personally, I function with lists and deadlines. It's my thing. I'm in love with lists and deadlines. I could go as far as saying that. For sure. Listen, take those away and I will be running around like a headless chicken, lost and acting chaotically, not really knowing which direction I should go. I would not exist. Your mindset is definitely key in changing this behavior. I believe in this sense that life is only as hard as we make it, meaning we choose how we approach it. And believe me when I say this, thinking about it is actually harder and more painful than doing it. Look at a broader perspective. Sometimes just getting it done is good enough. You know, you don't have to be perfect in absolutely every aspect of your life. You would be wasting your time for the most part if you tried. And also, it's impossible. Prioritize the task where you would like to try and give your all, in a healthy way, of course, and allow yourself to just do okay in others. Just getting them done should be your bar for success. And lastly, and kind of linked to the previous point, embrace imperfection and accept that experiencing failures is the natural way. Missteps and mistakes are going to happen, and that is okay. Even the people on social media who look like have it all and are doing awesome, all these notorious and famous people who have great achievements in our eyes, they have all failed before, multiple times. And maybe I'm going to fail. Maybe nobody's gonna watch this video. And that is okay. Be imperfect, my friend. Just like this pampas grass that my cat keeps eating so it looks ratchet. Yeah, like it. Perfect example. Something that has always helped me as well is ask myself, what is the worst that can happen? And normally, honestly, you'd be surprised how many times the answer to that question is nothing. It really is not as catastrophic as your brain makes you think. So I realized I would rather fail and know that I tried than go my entire life wondering, what if? And with that, I hope I made you reflect a little bit on this topic that many people go through. As you can see, I am no expert. I am just talking about the things that have worked for me, that I have personally learned and applied on my life. And I do hope that you have some takeaway from this video, apart from the monstrous number of times that I've said the words perfectionist and perfectionism in this video. If you liked or found this video useful in some kind of way, please feel free to like, subscribe, or even share the video with somebody who's also a maniac and likes to fold their bed sheets and align their bookshelves with military precision. That is definitely not me. If there's one thing I would like to leave you with, and I'm about to get a bit deep now, that would be make your life easier, not harder. And I know it sounds ridiculous when you say it like that, but it makes sense. Somehow. It makes sense. So, in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Making this video has really taught me that I need more than one battery for the camera. For the camera? What did I say? Camera. I can't speak. And I want to have a YouTube channel. How do I do this? I think I need to know how to speak to do that. Oh boy. You have no idea how many times I've moved around these pillows and readjusted them in this video. I think that says a lot.